Greetings everyone, Brad here with Mild Mannered EDC. Today we're going to talk about a little item that I came across while watching another YouTube channel that I enjoy quite a bit. And it struck me as something that's not only sort of relevant to EDC, because it's kind of a carry in your pocket kind of item, but also really I've found it quite useful during this COVID-19 pandemic that we're all continuing to suffer through. So anyways, I thought this would be a fun video and maybe kind of interesting, and it's certainly something you can kind of do yourself as well. You don't have to necessarily buy the product that I'm going to talk about shortly. Just a quick kind of overview on this. I came across this item while I was watching the YouTube channel called Townsends. I'm sure many of you have heard of them. They're a slightly larger channel than my own. Yeah. So they focus a lot, it's very heavy on sort of 18th century American colonial kind of cooking and recipes and things like that. But they do a bunch of other colonial 18th century kind of stuff, both in cities and out in the frontier, and what it was like to be in the military or whatever it might be. They're just really informative and kind of information packed videos and very authentic videos, but they're also just they're kind of a very gentle channel. I don't know how else to say it. And the people who sort of are featured in the video and the topics they cover, they just do it in a very respectful and calm and pleasing way. And it's definitely, I think, the best of sort of what YouTube can be, right? Which is really allowing you to detach from the everyday hectic, lives that we all lead and stresses that we're all kind of engaging on, but that, still at the same time give you some really good information and are just entertaining to boot. So anyways, kind of enough about that. This item in particular that we're going to talk about in this little tin, as you can see, is a travel spice kit. And the reason that I thought this was interesting is, one, it certainly was something that was an everyday carry item for colonial Americans, right? Definitely if you were out on the frontier or something like that, I mean, your food might have been pretty questionable, or your military rations or whatever they might have been.
All I've had today is like 6 gummy bears and some scotch.
And so the ability to kind of spice them up, add some flavoring, and just make you feel a little more human with what you were eating, kind of no matter your situation, I think was probably a very real thing. And they carried around the ability to do that. So at any rate, I wanted to talk through this particular item. Now, the reason I feel this is relevant even to today is because, as many of you know, if you're going to restaurants or you're going to things, your chances of finding salt and pepper on the table, or at least out here in the Pacific Northwest where I live, hot sauce if you go to a Mexican restaurant, whatever it might be, it's just not there. And so it's really kind of challenging. Anyways, so this I thought was not only kind of opportune, but very relevant to kind of what we're going through right now. So anyways, without further ado, let's take a look at this spice kit.
At last.
So it's in this little Altoids tin kind of thing, and I did buy this directly from the Townsends website. They do have a retail store. I think it's somewhere in Indiana or something like that. So basically what they've got in here are a number of little vials filled with, and it came with these seasonings, right? And I'll read this to you, right? The finest spices from remote and exotic regions, good for improving the digestion and the appetite. Yeah. These little vials, and I'll show you them in a sec: nutmeg, sea salt, black pepper, cinnamon, thyme, and cayenne. Very common spices for that time and used very frequently in a lot of the cooking of that period. So, but you're seeing, I've got a few things. I've added some stuff to this to kind of make it my own. And like I said, I've kind of made this my own little pandemic kit. So first thing in there, I've keep this little handy one-time use, single-use Purell packet, just so I can clean my hands up before I eat. I always carry a spare mask, right? Just because you never know. And then here are my spice vials, and I keep a little pack of, I'm a big hot sauce guy, so I keep I keep a pack of hot sauce in there as well, because this was the brand I could find that actually had packets of hot sauce. So anyways, there you go. So let's talk about these vials real quick. As you can see, they're all filled with something slightly different. I've customized this a little bit. I kept the nutmeg, not because I'm a huge fan of nutmeg, but because it's kind of the soul of not only the Townsends channel, but just it's it's very relevant to 18th century American cookies. So nutmeg's a big part of that, so I kept that here. Cayenne pepper, which I am a big fan of. This is just salt, regular black pepper. And then I have two of these little vials that I customized myself. This one contains, I'll open it up here with a little cork, and these are little glass vials. This one contains a little bit of Johnny's seasoning salt. Out here in the Northwest, it's actually made in Tacoma, Washington. My all-time favorite seasoning. In fact, I'm gonna eat that on my hand right now. Yeah, tasty. So I can put Johnny's just about on anything. So anyways, I included that in this little vial. And then I included another little vial here on a little packet. It's a little thing of like Greek seasoning. Actually, I forget the brand, but I filled that up with Greek seasoning. So anyways, the whole point of this is to say, for me, I have found this particularly useful wandering around as we've ventured out more and more to different restaurants as the pandemic has sort of ebbed and flowed here in the Pacific Northwest. But I just thought it was a fun item to sort of cross over from everyday carry to everyday culinary. That's right, stealing that, Nick. So at any rate, you know, I hope it's a cool item. I hope it's something that you might consider. You could certainly make this your own, go in any hobby shop and get little vials like this and, you know, fill this with whatever you'd like. But I think it's a good idea, and it's just something that, you know, helps kind of it gives me the ability to sort of feel like I'm connecting my modern everyday carry to a tradition of modern day, a tradition of everyday carry that goes back, you know, centuries. And in fact, I think we could probably argue, right, that everyday carry is probably an ancient, is sort of an ancient activity and ritual, right? That something has happened in the earliest days of human existence, all the way up to the modern era. And this one sort of blends the old and the new a bit, the ancient and the modern. And I think that's just neat and fun. And it's a cool product, and I enjoyed it, so I'm giving them a little bit of a plug here. Not like they need it. They're doing just fine over there. But I wanted to kind of share this with you because I thought it would just be kind of fun, and hopefully, you know, it gives you a smile and it gives you something to think about as you think about your everyday carry. So anyways, there you go. The Townsends everyday sort of carry spice kit. They don't call it that, that's what I call it. But I think it's a cool item. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope it's been kind of entertaining more than anything else, and maybe a break from kind of the other more hardcore content that we do in terms of knives and gear and other stuff here on the channel. So anyways, thanks so much. Be safe out there. Be flavorful out there. Ooh, I should add that into this series. Be mild-mannered to one another, and all the best.